Ha! Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I have a new Power Rangers Ninja Steel review for you. I'm back at it. It's been a while since I've done a Ninja Steel review, and I'll be honest with you, I have a bunch of Ninja Steel things to review, but I just wasn't super excited for it. A lot of the Ninja Steel toys just haven't been that great, and I just kind of kept putting it off and putting it off. But you know what? I want to get back into it. I want to start to get back into the Ninja Steel reviews and see where things go. So these reviews in particular, this is the Ninja Blaster and the Sword Star Shooter. These came out a very long time ago, many months ago, and so they've been in stores for quite a while. But I'm finally reviewing them. I've had them all this time. They've been sitting in my house for months. But I was like, you know what? I might as well review them anyways. So I'm just going to do a combined review. That way you get two in one. So here they are. This Ninja Blaster is from the show, although the little frog face does not look as angry in the show. The Sword Star Shooter, I believe, is not. So this is kind of a new toy-only thing as far as I know. So yeah, we'll see, you know, what it involves. But basically, you have this open-style packaging right here, which I'm not a huge fan of. They do all come with Power Stars, which don't look that great. You know, you guys know what I think about them. But here's the packaging. The back of the box shows you the Red Ranger with the blaster right there. As you can see, that's what the face normally looks like, not all angry looking like that does. But this thing loads Ninja Stars, and it has a rapid fire launch, so we'll see what that's all about. There's also other training gear available that I'm not going to buy. There's that. And then we have the Sword Star Shooter, again with more Ninja Stars right there. The back of the box just shows the Red Ranger, because the Sword Star Shooter doesn't exist in the show, so he's just standing there. But basically, I guess you load in the Power Stars and you can launch them somehow, so that will be interesting to see. So yeah, I have these two right here, so without further ado, let's get these open and take a look. Alright, so I have the Ninja Blaster and the Sword Star Shooter out of the packaging right here. Before I get into the actual items themselves, I want to take a look at the Power Stars. So the Ninja Star Shooter comes with 3 Power Stars right here. So honestly, I'm not keeping track of what Power Stars come with what toys, so if you're collecting all the Power Stars, I couldn't tell you if you have to buy, you know, the blaster here in order to get the Kodiak Sword Star, for example. I don't know if you can get this one with other toys. I'm not paying that close attention to the collectible aspect of them, basically, but I have the Morpher right here, and I want to quickly show you the sounds that each of these does in the Morpher, even though there's not much. So here we go. Alright, Red Ninja Power Star, and then push the button, and there you go. And the same sound again, so there you go. Alright, so next one we have the Kodiak Sword. Oh, that sounds the same, I guess, for everything, so I'm not going to worry about that second sound. Alright, and then we have this Element Star.
Element Star, fire mode. Engage.
Alright, so there we have that. So, coming with the Sword Star Shooter, we have 2 more stars here. We have another Element Star. So fire mode and then water mode with the Sword Star Shooter. And, oh, that one's flying. Last but not least, the Fusion Star.
Ninja Fusion Sword. Summon.
And there you have that, so I'll turn that one off. So those are the sounds that it makes in the Morpher. Not too much there, but it is what it is. The Power Stars themselves, of course, are just basically a stickered picture on the front and foam around the sides, and then the back has the rings, which is what the Morpher reads to identify which power star is actually used. So same with, here's the Kodiak sword and the element star fire mode right there. And then the two that I showed for the sword star shooter, the element star water mode, and the ninja fusion star right here. So there they are, in case you are collecting those. So the actual items themselves. Well, first of all, in general, what I will say about these items is they do feel kind of cheap in quality. There's no lights or sounds, so these are not deluxe items by any means. But the main gimmick is they both, in different ways, fire the power stars. And as a collector, these things really, there's not much to them. The power stars aren't great for collecting. These toys are kind of cheap and they don't look super great for display purposes, so there's not much for a collector. But for kids, I feel like kids may enjoy these. I think the gimmick of shooting the power stars is actually kind of neat for some of these, so I want to take a look at what it does. So here's the blaster right here, the Ninja Blaster, and so again, just stickers right up here. You got some minor paint right there. Not much to this design. It's a really odd design. I never really understood the whole frog blaster thing. It just didn't really make much sense to me. And then they decided to make him angry for the toy. I don't know why, but you know, I guess it is what it is. So the main gimmick here being you insert the power stars in there, and then this piece right here is going to pull back the loading mechanism. So you just kind of pull this back and it clicks, and so it's like held backwards, and when I push the trigger it pushes something forward which would launch the power stars. Like that basically. So we'll just open this piece up right here. It just pops open like that. And you can insert up to 3 power stars in any order. They don't really click into place or anything. They just sort of sit in there basically. So just stick in 3 power stars. Max of 3. You'll see otherwise it won't close. That's how much will fit. And then it just closes just like that. And then you just pull back until you hear a click. And then just let go. So it's locked and loaded. And then we push the trigger and there you go. And then for each time, pushing the trigger won't do it. You have to pull back and then push the trigger. Again. It's not too bad, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect. It shoots the power stars. I mean, it's, you know, pretty easy to lock and load the power stars and fire them. So it's kind of neat, you know, for this little toy. I feel like kids that enjoy the power stars may enjoy this, and because they are foam, they're not really gonna like hurt anybody. So that's I guess, obviously their intention when Bandai made them foam, but you know, I guess there's that as well. So the Sword Star Shooter is a little more interesting because this is an original toy. And the design is very plain looking. It's kind of neat, I guess, but a little plain looking. So obviously this symbol is seen throughout in the show, and more specifically the logo right there. So they made a little tiny blade of sorts. So really interesting design. And the way that it's meant to be held, there's this little buckle here, as you can see, and you can adjust it. You know, this piece does open up, and I'm not going to mess with it too much, but basically it does, you know, come off and adjust it slightly. And the idea is you'll take like your thumb and it will rest on that. So you just slide in your hand so that your thumb can rest on that. Now obviously for kids it may be easier. For me, my hand's a little awkward size, so it kind of have to reach over it a little bit, but this is basically the design. So it's meant to be like a little blade like this. And so, you know, it almost kind of gives me like Assassin's Creed, like Hidden Blade vibes in a way, you know? So it's like, whoosh, you know, got a little hidden blade right here. I don't know, it's a little clunkier than that, but it's a really interesting design. And so this took me a second to kind of understand how this works. So it's a little weird. And basically, I'm going to take it off for a second. This is the place where you're going to load in 2 power stars right here. So to do that, there's also, just like how this one has the tab that you pull back and it clicks into place to lock and load. So for here, there's this button that you can do. Now, even if you don't do the button, when you push in the power stars, it can lock and load it that way too, but you kind of have to push it a little bit, not much. So that's why at first I couldn't realize what the button did, because I was just putting the power stars without doing it. But that might wear and tear, you know, the toy a bit or something. So it's best to push in the button, which pushes the 2 mechanisms inwards. And then the place where your thumb would be, when you push that, that's what would basically fire the power stars. you know, and push out that mechanism there. So basically the way that it works is you want to load the power stars. So when you're wearing it like this, the painted piece, there's not much paint, but that piece is going to be facing down. So while that's facing down, the power stars are facing up. So it's a little odd because it's going to be like this. So basically you're like holding it like this, but loading in the power stars right here. So essentially they just kind of sit right in, and you can push it in and it kind of clicks into place. Oops, I did too much. Wait, lock and load. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, it just kind of sits right there into place. You don't really notice it like that. So any power stars will work. And basically the idea is you push the trigger and then it will shoot out the power star like that. It just kind of shoots it forward. So the way that they show it like in the back of the packaging is essentially, you know, if I lock and load this here, is you're supposed to like swing your hand like this, so that when you're swinging, it's gonna swing it kind of in a forward direction because it's going out the side, but you know, like that kind of. So it's a little hard to show in front of the camera here, so I'll do a little different demonstration in a second. But it's actually kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little satisfying. It's an awkward design the way that you kind of do it, but once you are like throwing out the power stars like that, it's kind of satisfying a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like whoosh, whoosh, like flicking it at people. It's kind of fun. I kind of am having fun with it, which I really did not expect at all. So it's an interesting design for sure. But yeah, so there's that, and that's really the main thing with these toys. So the power stars, they give you a couple here, and obviously you can use any other power stars that you have to lock and load in these weapons and shoot them. So I'm going to switch camera angles here and get in front of the camera now to show you a better demonstration of how these items work. So let's do that. Alright, what's up everyone? So here's the Ninja Blaster right here, so I'll show you how I can basically lock and load the power stars right into this thing. Okay. So here they are right there, and I will show you how that works in a second. I'm going to also take this sword star shooter right here, so you can see it's relatively tiny, but there it is right there. So let's lock and load these pieces as well. So we'll push the little button. Okay. Lock and load these power stars just like that. Okay, so they're locked and loaded and ready. Got my blaster right here. So basically, here's how it works. So with the Ninja Blaster, I pull back the tab, and then I can basically fire just like that. Let's do this again. And one more time. They don't go super far, but it is what it is. Now with this, essentially, if I kind of pull the button here, it's going to go flying out the side. So I'm going to fling it like this and see what happens. Ready? Okay, that second one went kind of far. Let me try this again. I'm going to like lose all these power stars. But it's kind of satisfying. Like I'm a little far back. I'm going to do this sort of quick. Ready? Like, that's kind of satisfying to do, you know? I don't even know where these things are going. I don't see them anywhere. I have to find this thing. I got one more power star, but basically, just like that. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. So that's the Sword Star Shooter and the Ninja Blaster. I will say, for collectors, probably not much that you're really going to find with these. They don't look that great. They're tiny, very cheap. And the power stars are not so great for collecting either. But kids, I think, will enjoy it if they dig this whole power star thing. Like if they like to have these different ones in their collection, have little blasters that shoot stuff, or this thing is in particular, honestly, I like this better than Ninja Blaster. Like, it's kind of fun to just fling it like this and kind of mess with it like that. So I feel like kids may enjoy this, and so it's pretty accessible at the price point that it is at too. So to be honest, I will say that I am a little surprised at how somewhat decent these toys actually are, especially the Sword Star Shooter. I wasn't expecting to like it at all, but it's kind of neat. So you got me there, I guess. But we'll see how the rest of the toy line goes. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Hope you enjoyed this Power Rangers Ninja Steel review. If you did, then definitely subscribe if you haven't already, because I got more Ninja Steel reviews on the way, including the Rockstorm Guitar Blaster, the Gold Rangers guitar blaster, which is really interesting looking. So definitely excited to check this out and see what it's all about. So if you haven't already, subscribe. Lots more Power Rangers reviews on the way, and including eventually Super Ninja Steel. So we'll see what that toy line brings in the future. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.